Here on The Brew, you know we talk about life, we talk about normal things, and tonight you're going to want to grab a beer and join our conversation because it could be a little, offensive because tonight we're talking about swearing. When is it appropriate to swear? Does it bother you? And speaking of swearing, over there on the box, Joel, you are an expert on this topic. King of swearing right there. Joel, how the f***'s it going tonight?
Nope, not at all.
No.
I'm a good Catholic boy. I would never say a bad word.
No. That's why I'll be definitely running the bleep machine all night long, editing this web show. I look forward to it. But
yeah,
it's a good question.
Fun.
Some people are offended more than others when it comes to swearing. Are you? We invite you to join our live conversation right now and tell us, are you offended by swearing? When is it appropriate? When is it not? We've got a bunch of great comments to line up for you. This is going to be a good one. So, Joel, let me go to you first, as we always do. Are you offended by swearing, and when is it right or when is it wrong?
Not really much at all. It's right whenever you feel like it, and it's wrong basically never. Not even in church. If the pastors in church were like, "Fuck it, fuck it. Jesus is coming back. This is the year my money's on. Fuck it," then I would probably take them more seriously than I do now.
Well, our live viewer speaking at church is saying right now that swearing is God's gift. And, well, I guess it kind of goes along with you. Look, church is probably not the right time to swear. But I will also tell you that people put on a church face and they put on a regular face. I cannot tell you how many times I was in church and they, do holier than thou this. But yet, you take them out of that situation and they're swearing like a sailor down the street and they're drinking and gambling and doing everything else. That definitely does happen. And I don't recall, maybe you'll know, I don't recall anywhere in the Bible where it says that swearing is wrong. Is there?
See, like for me, growing up, I was taught that it is. Mm-hmm. But then I got to high school and some Catholic nuns were like, "F this. I feel like taking a giant shit right now." And I was like, are you nuns? And they're like, "Yeah, God didn't say anything about swearing. He just said you can't say God damn it." And I was like, "Oh, okay. So if you don't take his name in vain, then it's not really bad. It's just a regular thing to do." And you, Crispin.
Well, we got a bunch of viewer comments, so let's get to a few of them because they're pretty good. Our first one is Mike, and he says, "Is swearing wrong?" Mike says, "F no, you cock-sucking candy-ass bitch." All right. Mitch says, "I'm offended by people offended by swearing." That's true. Some people really go crazy when you swear around them. My grandmother sometimes is one of those where she's like, hears a bad word on TV and she's like, oh, like loses her shit. Maybe it's a little bit too much, but it's definitely maybe a generational thing.
Absolutely. That was actually the word that came to mind was generation. Mm-hmm. A long time ago, back when most people that are now zombies or corpses were like kids, mm-hmm. That was a really bad thing. And it wasn't okay ever.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was okay, but only if like your dog died or something.
Yeah.
But now nobody gives a flying f***. Like it's in everything. Selena Gomez tweets, "F*** you, Donald Trump." So that's Selena Gomez from like the Disney Channel. So it's not even like I don't know. It's a very much so more widely accepted thing than it used to be.
We have another live viewer that wrote in saying swearing is offensive in general. And I know, like, when I was a kid, my grandfather swore up and down, F this, F that. And then yet if I said it, which I picked it up from him, I got a bar of soap in the mouth. And let me tell you, in the 80s, I was a champion of Ivory soap. Like, he could actually, like in the Christmas Story, the movie, like, you get to, like, know the flavors of soap after a while. It was awful, but did it teach me a lesson? No, not really, because as I got older, as I am now, people swear all the time up here in New York. You can't get anything done in New York without swearing. F this, F that. If you don't throw in a swear word, it's not getting done.
It's like an episode of Mad Men.
Yeah, it is. Let's take another viewer comment, and this time Dennis writes in, and Dennis says, "Only when it's another language." Now, that's... All right, I actually have a question about that one. This is a legit question. If somebody swears at you in a different language and you don't know it, then how do you know it's right or wrong? And then just like on TV, how would you know whether to bleep it or not if you don't know what the hell the word is?
It's usually not bleeped, which is funny. Because like there's a huge Latino population down here, mm-hmm. And on the channels for them like Telemundo, Estrella TV, stuff like that, Univision, some of the swear words aren't bleeped out, and I think it's funny because white people have no clue. They're just like, they're speaking some other language I don't know, and then they just let all of it go. But there's like there's all kinds of bad words that have come on there. But the only reason I know that is because I can understand Spanish.
Yeah.
And we definitely don't really care about that a whole lot.
Yeah. Now, you and I have had 2 instances together where we've gotten in trouble for the swearing, and I'm going to bring them up right now. And those were at baseball games. Now, you and I are passionate sports fans. We love to talk shit about our team when they're doing great, But we've had twice now, especially the incident in Cleveland. I'm talking more so last year. The guy got offended, and he's like, "Tell your boy to tell you to stop swearing." I didn't tell you anything. I let you keep going. And the guy got all mad and freaked out. And then we had the same incident in Yankee Stadium too, where some people "Oh, he said a bad word. Oh my, don't do that around me." But you got to understand too, that's part of sports.
It's tough because, okay, both people that got offended. One was a father with a kid. We didn't even know he was there.
Yeah.
Because another thing about baseball games is they sell beer, and when you drink beer, you don't really pay attention to what you don't want to pay attention to. You're focused on certain things. Obviously, you and me are focused on talking to each other and watching the game.
Yeah.
We don't care that little Jimmy has never heard the word "fuck" before.
Yeah.
Just because he's 4 rows behind us, and you and me were sitting behind home plate, so we had good seats. We paid good money. And then Yankee Stadium was this year, and that lady, that's just an older lady from a different generation.
Yeah.
It surprised me a little bit more with that one because that was New York.
I was surprised too.
But
I was really surprised.
Yeah. And I had another one too that you weren't at, where I was in Oakland, and I was at a Raider game, and same thing. There was just kids down in front of us, and the parents, the father got up, big cholo dude, and he's like, "You can't be talking like that. We got kids," and he tried to get up and intimidate me, and it was me and 6 friends. And we're just I don't even know what you're talking about, guy. Yeah. I wasn't even thinking anything about you. I didn't even know you fucking existed until you stood up and made me think you exist. And then once he sat down, we just went right back to swearing again. Yeah. And then later in the game, all the Raider fans, because we were in the end zone, they started a chant going, "Fuck the Chiefs. Fuck the Chiefs."
Yeah.
And I don't remember him getting up and telling 40, 50, 60 people behind us to shut the fuck up.
Right. The one thing though, if that's the case and you're offended by swearing, then that's maybe a teachable moment for your kid. Then say, "Oh, what he's saying is wrong. You don't do that." Or understand it in the real world. People do swear. They're not going to stop the world because your kid is sitting next to me. I'm sorry. I paid a lot of money to go to this game too. I'm not saying sit there and say F this, F that, and make sexual comments, but it's not on you also to go tell people next door, "Oh, don't swear." And it's also not right then to have somebody thrown out for that, or then I'll get up in their face, because you got to understand that's part of sport. It's like trying to stop people from drinking beer at the games. It's not going to happen. You are not going to change the world because your kid's sitting there. And if you don't want your kid exposed to that swearing, then stay home. That's my opinion on that.
I totally 100% agree.
And one of our live viewers just wrote in.
I know that doesn't make for an interesting argument, but I agree.
Yeah. One of our live viewers just wrote in, which I didn't know, and said that you can actually swear on TV past 9 p.m. in the UK. I didn't know that. Maybe we should develop some more BBC shows.
I know that when I've been to Mexico, they can show nudity and they can swear on TV, and it's not as taboo. Right. It's not even actually anything. It's just it's just part of that's what's on TV.
Yeah.
That's about as much thought goes into it, I'm sure.
Well, different countries have different laws on broadcasting. I know there's the whole family TV
We have the strict
council.
ones. We definitely have the strict ones. But you can swear. Comedy Central 15 years ago started putting South Park the movie on.
Yeah.
On a Friday night after 1 a.m. or Saturday night after 1 a.m. I can't remember what it was exactly. It was super late, but I was a teenager, and I would stay up and watch South Park the movie, and then they would leave it uncensored, so you would hear fucking shit and cock and ass and cunt and all that kind of shit. And then they started doing different movies. They still didn't show nudity, but they would uncensor all the language. So I think it's more a sign of the times in general as to how much swearing has become accepted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one part of it. And then I'm going to quiz you on this. There was actually one time when FUCK was allowed on broadcast television. There was one time it was cleared. They warned you in advance it was coming, and it wasn't going to be a fine. Do you know what program that was?
It was when David Ortiz got on the mic after the Boston bombings, and he's like, "This is our fucking city.
No, actually it wasn't. It was the first anniversary of 9/11 when they had the real video from when the plane hit the World Trade Center, and they're with the firemen inside there saying F this, F that as it was happening. They warned you the following year, and they aired that in 2002, that they're swearing in this. It's presented for documentary purposes. That was the first time that you could actually use it on TV. None of the stations were fine. Now, outside of like Big Papi and sports and all that, that's a whole different thing. Let's
It was just a joke.
Yeah, I know, it's all good. It's Big Papi. Well, let's take another live viewer, live comment. This time, Edie says, "Yes, I yell at people at work for doing it. It's a matter of respect for coworkers, management, and customers. Decorum, people." It depends where you live. I think that's the case. Here in New York, that is definitely not the case. In Pittsburgh, they didn't swear as much as they do here in New York. They're much more politer. I don't know. What's the deal with that in Vegas?
It's generally kind of polite, but like I was at the store today and there was a dude with a Cowboys hat on working at the gas station, and he was like, they only gave Ezekiel Elliott 9 carries. God damn it. No wonder we lost to the fucking bro. And he was right behind the counter.
Yeah.
And he kind of like looked around and he saw me, and I think he just looked at me and went, okay, this dude's young too. He probably doesn't care. I don't think he would be able to get away with that if it was like a bunch of like senior citizens or anything like that.
Well, speaking of coworkers, didn't you talk to one of your coworkers out there today about swearing and his opinion?
What's your favorite swear word?
My favorite swear word?
Yeah.
Probably bleep. Or you want like an honest answer? Cunt is a really good one. That doesn't get a lot of usage, but it's just super powerful, and there's people there, so sorry about that.
When is it appropriate to swear?
Driving.
Driving?
Yes.
That's a good answer.
Every single person on the road is just a motherfucking cunt. I'm sure I am too, but it's just how it is.
Yeah, I agree with him. That's the time like when you want to lose it. Like definitely when you're driving. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure even the most churchly, Christianly people out there are like, God damn it! And then they scream a couple of racial slurs that I won't put on this live broadcast.
What are you going to do, though, when somebody's sitting at a red light forever? You got to, like, chime up and say something. We have one more viewer comment, and it's Mr. Pizarro says, time and place, professional business environment, it's bothersome. Drinks with some friends, curse all night. Kids cursing should never. Little kids probably should not be cursing, but if they're too young to understand what they're doing, I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. If I'm at a 5-star restaurant, the dude who's serving the food is in a suit and tie, probably not the time either. Right. But that might change in the future too, because like obviously the snowball is rolling downhill. Yeah. So you never really know.
Yeah. We took a poll. I put this up on Twitter this week, and the flat-out question is it appropriate to swear? Are you offended by swearing? And a whopping 89% of people are not offended by swearing. That is the highest amount we've ever had on one of our polls. 11% said, yes, I am offended. That's I'm not surprised by that, because just like you said earlier, that's definitely the way that things are going. It's becoming much more acceptable to swear.
Yep. The poll is good. It's a good example.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. We want to thank our live viewers. We have lots of you on tonight. I want to thank you for all your great comments. And on Thursday, Joby is picking back with Jersey Joe, because this week we're playing Is It Art? I visited a New York City art museum, and I find out whether these pieces of art are worth millions of dollars or some of them are crap. There are some in there that definitely, you're a good BS artist to get in there. So, Is It Art? We're playing that Thursday on Picking Back Jersey Joe at noon on my YouTube channel. Joel, I got to tell you, there was one in this art museum, by the way. It was literally a canvas, and they literally just painted it white and put it up on a wall and gave this big description about, oh, it's my expressionist phase and all that. I could have painted the damn thing for $9 running down the street to the Home Depot here. So you and I could figure this out and be millionaires by some of the installations that were in this New York City museum.
I look forward to watching it.
Yeah, definitely worth some swearing. I want to thank our live viewers. Joel, thanks for joining me tonight. Thanks for having a beer, and we'll see you guys next time.